Several persons have been reportedly killed in an attack by suspected armed herdsmen in Abande settlement, Mbaikyor Ward, Turan, Kwande Local Government Area, Benue State. The killings have sparked fresh outrage over the worsening security situation in the area. The attack, which residents said was carried out on Tuesday afternoon, occurred at the Abande market while traders and buyers were conducting business. Witnesses said the assailants stormed the market, opened fire on the civilians, looted shops, and set parts of the market ablaze. As painful as this may be, I'm being joined by the man representing this federal constituency in the Federal House of Representatives, Honorable Terseer Ugbor, Member House of Representatives, Kwande Ushongo Constituency. Thank you for joining us. This is not a smiling matter. I was hoping that the next time we'll see you on this program will be when we'll be celebrating. But we're hearing this news now. What have you been able to find out?
Well, it's like you said, it's not a smiling matter. My people are in tears. My people have been displaced. This is a systematic displacement of the people of Kwande Local Government, especially the Turan axis of Benue. 3 days ago, we heard of the attacks on the Abande axis, which is a border community with Cameroon and with Taraba, where over 17 people, as of now, have been confirmed dead, and several others injured and maimed badly. Communities have been displaced, families have been torn apart. And just when we're grappling with that situation, today we've heard of another attack in a similar close community called Anyase, where they've burned down the entire market and people have also been confirmed to be killed. And the numbers, for now, we have not been able to determine the number. Hopefully, we don't get any numbers at all, or maybe something not as terrible as what we experienced a few days ago. So this is obviously a continuous attack. The local government chairman and other officials have been there to see it for themselves. I have also sent people to the ground. I've sent journalists. I've sent my legislative aides who are on the ground, and they've gone. And as I speak, they are currently on the ground with your news journalists, to see for themselves, so that we can bring these things to the limelight of the country, because this just has to stop.
I do know that, I mean, the whole nation heard the president, or heard about the president's directive for the National Assembly to speed up whatever needs to be done to ensure that states that are willing and able to set up local policing infrastructure can do that. What's the situation? I mean, if this, as you say, is a systematic thing, but some will say that terrain, I mean, we had a guest here who talked about the Kwande terrain, that the terrain is not an easy terrain to go into. So it has to be people that understand it, that can best protect it. So,
well, the general, let me give you a bigger picture of what's happening in Nigeria. The eastern flank of Nigeria, the entire eastern flank of Nigeria, starting from Cross River State, Akwa Ibom, all the way up. The closest security post to Kwande is somewhere around Ikom in Cross River, which is over 400 kilometers away. From Ikom all the way through Benue, all the way through Taraba, all the way to Adamawa, there's not a single security checkpoint along the Nigerian border with Cameroon. Not one. So the terrorists have found a loophole in our security architecture. Benue State has the smallest boundary with Cameroon among all the country states that have boundaries. We have the smallest, but we have a United Nations IDP camp, a refugee camp in my constituency. 14 years, a refugee camp has been there, made up of Cameroonian refugees who have now naturalized and are now Nigerians because they have registered, gotten their name, and are even registering to vote. Nobody is looking at this. There's not a single checkpoint. The Inspector General of Police approved the border patrol unit for Cross River and for Benue. They needed the state government to provide some logistics to help the patrol unit to kick off. The Akwa Ibom State Government, Cross River State Government has started their border patrol unit, patrolling their border. In Benue, nothing was done about it. I went to the Commissioner of Police. I went to the AIG Border Patrol. I've had meetings. I've seen the memo for the approval for a border patrol unit to be established in Jatoka to patrol the border between Benue, Taraba, and the Cameroon border. Till today, that unit was not established. We reached out to the government. They know about this approval from the IG of police, and the government did nothing about this border patrol unit. Because of my desperation to get this border patrol unit started, I donated a temporary border patrol post, hoping that that temporary post will instigate the deployment of this border patrol unit to our community to patrol that border day and night. Unfortunately, nothing was done after that effort, and that patrol unit is locked right now because there are no soldiers and no police officers to man our borders. So it's a very, very difficult and terrible situation.
But seeing that you and your colleagues in the National Assembly are closest to the people, apart from the local government and the councillors and all of that, and the State Assembly, you are the next set of people that are closest to the people. You represent your people.
Yes.
And it's within your purview to say, we need to set up a state policing and border patrol system that doesn't need a federal approval. The question I asked was, the president has said, do whatever you need to do quickly. What's happening about that?
You see, the system of government that we practice, we have three distinct arms of government. As a legislator, the best I can do is to promulgate laws, policies, and push for the implementation of these things through oversight. We have passed the constitutional amendment process is on the way. We have accepted that state police is necessary for our country. It has passed. We've signed for it, but the process still needs to go on. The constitutional amendment must go to the states. 24 states must approve that they want state police in Nigeria before it can come back and become law. So it's a long, rigorous process. But the quicker process to this is for the executive arm of government, through the federal government collaborating with the state government, to deploy border patrol units across the Nigerian-Cameroon border, between Benue all the way through Taraba to Adamawa. This is the only way. Right now, Kashimbila has become a major hotspot, a major meeting point.
You're implying that these attackers are coming from that Cameroon axis?
They are coming through Taraba, into Cameroon, and into Benue. It's the same axis. It's like a tripartite border area. So Kashimbila, which also stands at a neighboring community along the Taraba-Benue axis, has become a major meeting point for terrorism and bandits in Nigeria. And they are assembling there in their thousands. And they are planning attacks from the Kashimbila area and attacking us in Benue and other parts of Nigeria. This is what is going on because the borders are completely... I went to see the AIG border patrol. He showed me the national border and all the border checkpoints across all borders in Nigeria. The eastern flank of Nigeria is empty. We have mountains and forests that make up a natural protection. But those places have become good hunting grounds and hiding places for terrorists in Nigeria and for bandits. This is the problem. The National Boundary Commission in the 2025 budget came up with a brilliant idea. I sat down with them. We came up with a very fantastic idea to open up the Nigerian-Cameroon border. The DG of the agency had an idea to set up international markets, international economic zones across 6 geopolitical zones. The one for the North Central was to be set up in Benue. The SGF proposed a road from Jatoka straight through Abande to Join Water, which is the road straight into Cameroon. So that when that road is opened up, the immigration service can come and set up their immigration base. The army can set up a command, the police. In fact, the immigration, we had actually donated 5 hectares of land for immigration to set up an immigration base. But because of the lack of protection, they are unable to do this.
All right. I might just have to ask you to hold on. We'll take a moment. We'll go on a quick break. We'll come back. And when we come back from this break, we'll be joined by a security expert. I think we're having... I'm trying to get his name exactly. Brigadier General S.K. Usman, a retired Brigadier General, former spokesperson for the Nigerian Army and Consultant Director of Corporate Affairs and Information Services. He'll be joining us after the break. Just stay with us. Welcome back. We still have Honorable Terseer Ugbor, Member House of Representatives, Kwande Ushongo Constituency, here in the studio with us. Honorable Ugbor, before we went into that break, you were talking about what that needs to be done between the federal, state, until, as regards security, until we have the laws passed that would allow for state policing. And having said that, I want us to look at this matter of the killings in Kwara. You mentioned Benue this morning, Benue 3 days ago, Benue again this morning, and then the matter in Kwara State. Would you think if that collaboration is effected, what you talked about, the Border Patrol, the plan from the Border Commission the DG of the Border Commission. If all of that's put together, would it make any difference?
Oh, it will make a whole lot of difference. I mean, if we opened up our international borders, these are the hotspots where terrorists are infiltrating into our country, open up international markets, deploy military and security services to these borders to protect this international business, open up international trade. The people will benefit so much from the trade and the economic value that is going on in these areas, and will protect these areas against banditry. Now, we talk about the state police, which is an important constitutional amendment that we're working on in the National Assembly. But before the state police, the federal government had approved recruitment of, I think, over 100,000 new security officers across several security agencies in the country. What's happening with that? It has been several months we have nothing about it. A lot of young people came forward. Benue State had one of the highest amounts of applicants to the recruitment exercise that was done under the Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Internal Affairs. Yeah. You know, Benue had one of the highest because our people want to work. Our people want to secure their communities, but nothing has been heard about this up till now. You know, so there's need for the government to fast track some of these things. This security issue is becoming an emergency. And if we don't fast track it, even before state police come, recruit the 100,000 young people who have shown interest, who have willingly come out to serve. People want to serve, young people want to serve. Recruit people, deploy them to these communities, give them the right ammunition so that they can protect our communities, protect Kwara, protect Benue, protect the border communities, most especially, so we can put a stop to the killing in our country, and especially in my constituency of Benue that has suffered so much over the last 15 years, and it's really, really becoming a thing of concern because the major town, Jatoka town, which is a historical major city, is going to go down if we're not careful because they're coming closer and closer, and the agenda seems to take over the Jatoka community, and then from there begin to push into other regions in Kwande Local Government. This will be a major disaster for Benue, major disaster for my people, and of course for Nigeria as a whole.
Thank you so much, Honorable Terseer Ugbor, Member, House of Representatives, Kwande Ushongo Federal Constituency, Benue State. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.